Hello, welcome to 10 at 10. My name is Michael Ramage. I'm the director of the Cyber Education Research Center here at Murray State University, and welcome back to 10 at 10. 10 at 10 is brought to you through a partnership between Murray State University, Sprocket, West Kentucky, and KY Innovation. Welcome back to episode 249. We are closing in on 250, but let's talk a little bit about what's going on in the world of cybersecurity. Last week we went through a lot of news that was going on and bad things that were happening. Jump back 2 weeks, we talked a little bit about Cybersecurity Awareness Month, and the hope is that you listen about cybersecurity awareness, recognize Cybersecurity Awareness Month, and the steps and the things that you can do through Cybersecurity Awareness Month can help protect you against those bad things that we talk about on our news episodes. But last time we talked about the steps that you could take. We talked about 4 different things that you could do: strong passwords, updating your software, reporting phishing, and using multi-factor authentication. This week, we're going to take it a step further. I don't like that. Let me do it this way. No. How about that way? We're going to take it a step further, and let's talk about a couple of things that you can do. We're going to talk about 5 things, but let me talk about these 3 first, that you can level up your defenses. Now, some of these you may not think necessarily apply to yourself as an individual person, but they probably do. But even beyond that, they apply to your place of business, your organization that you work for. So let's walk through this and why these are important first. Use logging and monitoring. So first of all, what is it? Logging is the process of recording activity on your systems, including who accessed what, when, and from where. And monitoring adds a layer of oversight by reviewing logs in real time to identify anomalies and unauthorized behavior. All right. So what does all that mean? Why should you do logging and monitoring? Well, to me, it's simple. First of all, you do logging and monitoring so that you know what normal looks like. Step 1. And 2, that you can identify when a bad guy is on your system. Think about it. If you're not at home and somebody breaks into your house and puts everything back the way that it was, would you even know that somebody's been in there? Would you? Unless there is some sort of monitoring system, maybe you have a camera, a motion detector, something in your house. If you don't have that, then how do you know if somebody has done anything? You don't. So logging and monitoring is the way of keeping track of what's going on so that you can detect the bad guy if they're in your system. It's complicated. It's harder than it sounds, but that's the short version. CISA offers some free tools. You can find them on their website to get started, but logging is something that you should consider. Number 2, back up your data. A backup is a secure copy of your business's critical data stored separately from your primary systems. If you have a backup and you get hit with a system failure, if you get hit with ransomware, a security incident, you're going to be able to restore from your backups because you have backups. It's that simple. So best practice for backups is follow 3, 2, 1. You need to have 3 copies of the important files on 2 different media storage devices. So that means you have it on a hard drive and on the cloud. You have 2 different things. And one of those needs to be offsite. That way, if you have a fire at your business, that those files are still available. If you had your computer with your main file and your backup file both on the same system and you had a fire, then they're both going to burn up. Now, this is talking about a business backing up your data. Let me give you a reason why you may want to back up your data. I have teenage daughters. I've never not had digital photos of them since they've been alive. if you stole those files, if you stole those photos, and those were the only photos I had of what my girls do, then and those for whatever reason got corrupted and I lost all of those files, I would be heartbroken. Those are my only files of those pictures. So what do? I back them up. I back up my files. If my phone goes down, if my computer goes down, if my laptop goes down, I don't care because everything that's on those devices are also backed up to my cloud. That is an important thing for me. And more importantly, if something happened to one of my devices, I have those other devices as backups so that there's not a single point of failure in my system. To me, that's very important. So anyway, backing up your data is a very important piece. Not only that, but encrypting your data. So encryption keeps your information safe by scrambling sensitive information into unreadable coded language. You don't decrypt it unless you have the key code. Whatever that key is, without it, you can't get it. Now, bad guys use encryption. Ransomware. The whole point of ransomware is that your files get encrypted and you can't get access to those files until you pay the ransom to get the data decrypted. That's what ransomware is, essentially. Now, there's variations of it now, but essentially, you encrypt your files, and unless you pay the money, you don't get those files back. Okay, that's bad, but we can use that to protect our data. For example, password managers. You will hear me say to use password managers, and you should use password managers. But if you're using a password manager, then I want you to, well, actually, let me back up. So people will ask me, what if I just store my passwords in Notepad or in a contact list? Those files are not encrypted. Your password manager file is encrypted. So even if I stole your password manager file that has all of your passwords on it, I can't do anything unless I also know the decryption key. That will protect your information a little bit more. If I steal your files and they're encrypted, I still can't read them without your decryption key. And if it's good encryption, then it's going to take a long, long time to decrypt. Longer than probably a bad guy is willing to wait. Point of all that is encrypt your files. Operating systems now by default will have an encryption component to it that you can encrypt your files by default as soon as you turn your computer on. I would recommend that you do it. It's a good idea for you to do it. What should you encrypt? All devices, hard drives, removable media, laptops with sensitive data, relevant documents for enhanced security, both at rest and in transit. There's really 3 different places that you could encrypt data: at rest, in transit, or while processing. While processing is really hard to encrypt. It gets complicated. But at rest and in transit, absolutely you can and you should. Backing up your data to an external hard drive and properly vetted crowd service, and always encrypt your backups. That's it. That's what you should be doing. Now, those encrypted backups will store in the cloud, but if somebody breaks into your cloud backup, it's still encrypted, so they're still not going to be able to get it. And then maintain offline encrypted backups of your data and test your backups. Also, if you have a cyber incident, you should report it. You should report it. Now, let me tell you, 100% believe that you should report it. I would tell you, based on the news that we talked about last week, I would be careful right now. There's the CISA Act, which is Cybersecurity Incident Sharing Act, I believe it's called, Information Sharing Act of 2015 has lapsed, as you heard me talk about. It sunsetted last year, but we can still take a look and see what we can do to report incidents. I would still report it. There's also an IC3.gov website for Internet Crime Complaint Center. You can report things there as well. Reporting that information is a good way to better protect yourself. All right, I'm going to stop there. There's a lot more that we could share, but for Cybersecurity Awareness Month, to me, that hits the key pieces. Really, at the end of the day, I want you to stay safe. I want you to use the internet, but I also want you to stay safe doing it. So anyway, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out, and I'll see you next week back here on 10 at 10. Thank you. Bye.